Hey, sports fans, PBnZ, Sports Chaos. And PB is live with us tonight in the show. We're going to talk NFL. But PB, before we get into that, college football, unbelievable game yesterday. That Georgia Alabama game lived up to the hype. Alabama went out huge, 28 to nothing. Georgia
Yep.
came back, was actually up, I believe, and then Alabama had a rally to win in the end. Jalen Milroe, right now, who picked him as a possible Heisman winner? Oh, I did. Yes, he looked all the part yesterday. Incredible, incredible play by him. That was an epic game. By the way, Friday night down in your area, Miami had an epic game against Virginia Tech. That game was, I think, 35-31. But what was unbelievable about it is, did you see the end?
No, I did not.
Virginia Tech throws a ball into the end zone. It's a scramble, right? You can't see the ball at all. Five players around it. This is the telling part, they all kind of fell out of bounds. Initially called a catch in that crowd. Referee even walked over after he looked at the initial replay, walked over to the coach of the Virginia Tech, said, yeah, it's a catch, it's a touchdown, but we have to go to replay. Replay comes back. I mean, it must have taken almost 3 minutes for this replay. Replay announces incomplete pass and no touchdown. Miami wins the game. And people were just like, what? What did we just see? You could never get a clear angle, which of course everybody said, well, wait a minute, if you don't get a clear angle, how do they call it? How do they overrule the play of the field, right?
It has to be inconclusive, right?
Yeah. So I think, though, I mean, I heard this on yesterday morning on one of the college football pregame shows. Everybody landed out of bounds. It has to be incomplete in that case. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. They all did. They all landed out of bounds. So there you go.
Right,
All right,
right.
let's talk a little NFL. Last week was interesting. Pittsburgh keeps rolling undefeated. We're going to talk about that game in a minute. Denver knocked off Tampa Bay. That was a shocker. Giants finally won over the Browns. It didn't take long for that winning streak to end as they lost to the Cowboys on Thursday night. Cowboys got their asses kicked by Baltimore, so good win by them. But the surprising one has to be that San Fran lost last week.
Yeah. Now they're sitting at 1-2, right?
Yeah, I mean, that was a shocker and a half, right? So,
Yeah, yeah. And they got to. That's not good for the Patriots because that San Francisco on home field today should bounce back from that, I think. But
are they? Did I see this right? Is San Fran a 10-point favorite in this game?
yeah,
Oh my God! So you
I actually like San Fran too.
to
I don't
cover?
see the Patriots scoring. I see the Patriots putting up like 10, 13 points, and I think San Francisco easily puts up in the mid-20s. So I
Okay.
don't see. Yeah.
By the way, people are questioning San Fran offense, and I'm like, wait a minute, they scored like 28 points in that loss. It's their defense which is not living up to their hype, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's the
Which was
deal.
why I think that the Patriots won't, because they don't have a good enough offense to exploit that defense.
Yeah.
So I don't think they score points. That's all. Yeah.
So we got Buffalo, Pittsburgh, KC, all 3-0. Minnesota, Seattle, 3-0. Right? That's all the teams that are left are 3-0. Correct?
And I think all five of those teams could lose this week.
Ooh, all right.
Possible.
Well, let's
Possible.
get into that. Let's get into that because we're going to pick a bunch of those games. Let's start right off with Buffalo, who goes to Baltimore. That's tonight, if I remember correctly, right? Sunday night
Yeah.
football. What do you
Yep.
think of this game?
Yeah. I mean, Buffalo's riding high right now. I mean, they look really, really good, right? They're
Yeah,
great offensively. They look very good defensively. And Baltimore, they did have an impressive win against Dallas, but the two games that they played prior to that were just kind of mediocre at best. Um, and I think Buffalo is the better team right now. I know it's on the road. I know it's in Baltimore. Baltimore's a favorite. But that's going to fire up Josh Allen and company. I'm taking the Bills.
I don't know if the Buffaloes really showed me much. They really haven't beaten anybody really strong at this point in the season. I think that Baltimore has been showing more and more improvement, and they're just getting used to a new defensive coordinator. Let's not forget about that. That's their challenge right now is on defense. They keep giving up leads in the fourth quarter. They did last week to Buffalo to Dallas. Dallas they held on, but Dallas made it a close game late. It was not close at all to begin the game. So I'm going, and so is G Money. I'm going Baltimore.
Okay, fair enough.
All
Think
right,
we will
3-0,
this
another
guy.
3-0 team. Vikings. Vikings go to the Packers. Is it
Yeah.
that right now Jordan Love may play, they say?
Yeah, the inactives come out at 11:30 in 7 minutes. They are starting to list some of the teams inactives right now that have already reported them, but they have until 90 minutes before kickoff to report. It is trending in the direction of Love starting. Um, if
Okay.
Love starts, I mean, I think they win this game and they cover. I mean, it's 2.5 right now at home. I know Minnesota's got that glass slipper. They're like kind of like the Pittsburgh of the NFC. It's going to fall off at some point, and what a better time for it to fall off in Green Bay. Um, Green Bay looks good. I think that they've looked good with Malik
Malik
Willis at
Willis. Yeah.
quarterback.
Yeah.
They've won two. I think with Love, they're just even better, right? It just elevates their offense even more so. So I don't think this is a really. It's probably my pick of the week. Actually, is Green Bay in this one.
Ooh, all right. G Money's got Minnesota. I'm going to go with you. I'm going Green Bay as well. Malik Willis has showed me enough. And if Jordan Love plays even better at this point in time, plus it's at home, I like the Packers to win. Go Cheeseheads. All right. Saints and Falcons down there in the NFC South. No one really wants to jump out. Saints were out there 2-0, and then they lost last week.
Yeah.
Falcons, your pick, my pick as well. What do you think of this game?
Yeah, the Saints are interesting. Everyone thought they were, oh, here come the Saints, right? With their two big wins at the beginning of the year. But let's remember they beat Carolina, one of the worst
They beat
defenses in the
Dallas
league.
too. That's a good win.
And
They beat Dallas in Dallas.
they beat Dallas in Dallas, but everybody's been questioning Dallas's defense. Like now, granted, against the Giants, I think they righted that ship a little bit, but and then they lost the following week, and I think that momentum is going to carry over. Atlanta's proven that they can win big games. They won that game in Philly on Monday Night Football. It was a huge win for that team. I think coming home, I think they'll be fine, and I think they're going to win this game. I'm going to take Atlanta.
I thought they lost the Monday night game to Philly. I thought they rallied, but Philly held on and won that game on Monday Night Football.
You're thinking of when they played New Orleans. Philly beat New Orleans,
Okay, all
but
right.
Atlanta beat Philly
Okay, all right.
in Philly.
I'm taking Atlanta this week as well. G Money is going with New Orleans, though. Wow.
Okay.
Okay. All right. We've got, let's see, next up, and the other undefeated team you just mentioned, who you think is wearing a Cinderella slipper as well. Pittsburgh goes to Indy. What do you think in this game?
Yeah, I think it falls off this week. I think it's the only thing that's not boding well for me right now is the play of Anthony Richardson. I mean, he doesn't look good. That offense has sputtered with Pittsburgh's defense. That spells disaster for the Colts. I'm really on the fence on this one. I have the Colts written down, but I'm talking myself out of it right now.
By the way, where'd you
Because
go
of
last week? Where'd you go last week? That might help you.
I went against Pittsburgh last week.
And where'd you go for the week? 0 for 6?
Um, no, last week. No, that was 2 weeks ago. We both went 0 for 6 2 weeks ago.
No,
No,
1 and 5.
last week.
We
Last
you
week we
went 1
went
and 5
like
2 weeks.
yeah. I think I went 3-3 last week, and I think you went
Okay,
like
all
five and
right.
one.
So go,
But
so go, go, go against your head this time and go where you got. Take Pittsburgh.
yeah, I think that's probably the way I need to go. I'm going to switch it. I was on the fence. I'm going Pittsburgh. Let me just say that. Going
I am
Pittsburgh.
as well. G Money is as well, and I'm with you. Anthony Richardson. Everybody had him down as the big stud going to the fantasy year this year. Like he was like the third or fourth rated quarterback for fantasy. He showed nothing, right?
Nothing.
Justin
Nothing.
Fields, by the way, on the other side of the football in this game, has shown me more than Anthony Richardson, right? And no
All
one
right.
wanted Justin Fields going into
Yeah,
the season.
and it's really more about um the defense of Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh,
And
yeah, I agree.
if Richardson can't get it going, then that's going to be a recipe for disaster. By the way, Latu is looking pretty good for the Colts, man.
Yep,
He's going to be a player.
yep, I agree. All right, KC Chargers. KC, another undefeated team, plays the Chargers. What do you think?
Yeah, and this is a kind of a trap game for Kansas City. Herbert is still questionable whether or not he's going to start. If he doesn't, I think Kansas City cleans up. If he does, I think this could be a competitive game. I think the Chargers might sneak enough in to get this game covered because I think it's 7.5.
Okay.
But because it's on the road too, right? And it's just
Yeah.
a kind of a nemesis for them. I feel like the Chargers always figure out a way to like split with the Chiefs or something. But I'm gonna go the Chiefs. Like I can't bet against the Chiefs until they show me otherwise.
By the way, you two things you missed. Joel, who may be the best left tackle in football, is not supposed to play for the Chargers today. That's huge, especially with Herbert not really feeling that good with the calf, right? And Bosa on the other side, I believe, is not playing.
Yeah, that's
I
not good.
forget. It might be the Bosa on the San Fran, actually, now that I think of it. Joey Bosa.
Oh,
Joey's on San Fran, right? Nick's on
yeah.
Nick's on
So
the Chargers, right? Yeah, so all right. So Bosa's on it's the San Fran Bosa that's
I'm
out.
confused. Yeah, but yeah.
All right.
So
Last,
you're going Chiefs
yeah, I'm going Chiefs.
and G
All right,
Money
G
is
Money's
too.
got Chiefs. He's got Chiefs as well. All
All
right.
right.
Seattle goes to Detroit. Seattle, me, I don't know what to make of this team. This is a tough game, though, going to Detroit, in Detroit, where they play really well. If this was in Seattle, I would probably take Seattle to win this game because Detroit has been so, in my opinion. Everybody's got them as a front runner for the NFC title game and possibly the Super Bowl. I haven't seen enough yet, but I don't think Seattle goes in and wins this game in Detroit. I may be wrong, but I see Seattle losing their first game.
Yeah, and you know what? Seattle, last time they had to go across the country 3 time zones to play the Patriots, they beat the Patriots barely. Like, and that's a bad Patriots team, right?
Yep.
And here they are going across the country again 3 time zones
No,
to play
Detroit's
Detroit.
only 2 time zones.
No, Detroit's East Coast time. Detroit's not Central time.
You
Detroit's
sure?
Eastern time.
Michigan? Michigan?
Yes, Detroit is Eastern time zone. Look it up,
Okay.
guaranteed.
Okay.
So that's 3 time zones again. Can they win 2 games in 3 weeks traveling across 3 time zones? I don't think so, especially against a talented Detroit team versus a mediocre Patriots team that almost beat them, right? Or less than mediocre team. So I'm all the way with Detroit on this one.
Okay. G Money is as well. I get Detroit as well. By the way, I'm on a roll 6-0 last week. Let's see if I can continue this week.
Yeah, that was a good week for you.
Yeah, man. All right. Good show. We'll see what happens. You'll have to talk a little baseball, right? We got the baseball playoffs coming up to starting this week, right?
Yeah, we got to do baseball predictions for sure.
Okay. All right, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good.